What's up, everybody? Tobin here with you. Thank you for checking us on out. Hope everybody's ready for a fun week ahead. Your Miami Heat, of course, licking their wounds after getting drubbed by the Celtics in Game 1, losing by 20. It isn't enough, though, that you have to deal with the loss, but then, of course, you have to deal with Boston media stupidity. And, I mean, the gaslighting that these dumbasses like to throw up there with this whole Caleb Martin situation, which I knew was going to happen. I knew it was going to. They have such a need to try and fuel something here. I don't know if it's a need to make themselves feel like underdogs or that they're targeted like everybody doesn't, spend the entire year smooching the Celtics ass. I don't know what it has to be. But you have this Brian Scalabrine, who gets on their post-game show today and seems to think that Eric Spoelstra ordered the code red on Jayson Tatum, that he called a timeout in a play that he was challenging, that he wanted Caleb Martin to intentionally take out Jayson Tatum on a rebound, in which he was shoved into Jayson Tatum by Jayson Tatum's teammate Drew Holiday. Let's hear this dum-dum as he tries to explain what he thinks happened, because he was heated.
For not making this a bigger story. After we blew him out, we need stuff to talk about.
I think it is
People,
a bigger story.
do your job. Do your job.
Here it is right here.
Look at this. This is a basketball play. Give me a break. Come on.
That looked like a cornerback breaking up a pass from a receiver.
Yeah, just sitting a mess. Look at this. Come on.
Yeah, if the cornerback was shoved by the other wide receiver.
What are we talking about here? And the pseudo-apology, the Jaylen Brown stuff, the timeout 31 seconds earlier?
That's what got you upset. That's why you believe it's a code red, because we're up. What were we up at the time? 16 with 1:30 left, and there's a timeout.
Code red.
What are we talking about in that timeout?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I don't understand the media.
All right, well, we did hear what Joe Mazzulla had to say.
What does Spoelstra have to say about that?
Well, I don't know yet, but if he is asked,
oh my gosh.
we're going to try to bring that to you.
By the way, this is your story that was just completely written for you. You guys don't want to ask Joe about it.
All right, well, what we did get from Joe, though, is he was excited.
Yeah, well, Joe Mazzulla was asked about it. He was like, I wanted to see how he would react. Bro, look, good for Jayson Tatum getting up off the floor. I mean, he's the biggest guy on the court. Props to him for being able to bounce back like he's not an old man. But Tatum today is like, even they're feeding into it. Because again, as I said in the recap video, they love to build this mythology around the guy who isn't a bum. The guy is very, very talented. But I just think it's crazy how we're still we're trying to make something of him more interesting than there is there. Sometimes it just is what it is. Like, we've been doing this with Jayson Tatum now since he's walked in the league. Tremendously talented young man. Very, very good basketball player. Has a huge Kobe Bryant kink. Wants to be the next Kobe. Texts him when he's no longer with us. But, when you go to him for like inspiration, you're just like, oh, that's a cold-blooded mother bleeper. You're just like, yeah. You're left a little empty when it comes to Jayson Tatum, right? Like, for example, today, right? Damian Lillard. Oh, this hurt for the Heat fan. I'm going to get back to these dummies from Boston in a second, but I did have a moment of pain tonight. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Damian Lillard scored 35 in the first half. And strangely, nothing in the second half against the Pacers. They whooped the Pacers' ass, the Bucks. They go up 1-0. But Damian Lillard at one point, the Bucks tweeted this video out as he's cooking everybody. And it just says, "This is what y'all brought me here for." And I was just like, oh, man. That hurt. That hurt. That hurt. There's just no other way to put it. There's no other way to get around that. That stings. That honestly, in a way, like it stings almost more than the loss does, because it's just like everything. Every Heat fan's just like, oh, you see that happen tonight because you're just thirsting for offense, and Damian Lillard's out here dropping more than any Heat player did in the first half. He's just like, yeah, that's what y'all brought me here. But anyway. The thing that I was getting at with this, besides it being sad though, is just Damian Lillard is a bad motherfucker. Like that just is what it is. Like, Tatum may end up finishing with more rings than him. I don't know. But we all just know, like, Dame time is a badass. Even before the whole Miami thing, I was like, man, if there's one player I wish was on the Miami Heat more than any other, it was Damian Lillard. And it's not only that he's just an assassin. The guy loves fighting. He's so cool, and ends playoff series, and everybody's kind of now writing him off, which is probably a scary thing to do. But they've been trying to do this with Tatum basically since he's walked in the league, and it's just like he's just really talented. But anyway, getting back to the comments, so somebody's like asking him, he's like, "Oh, Jayson, Jayson, how did you get up?"
Feel fine. I mean, I didn't see. I went to go get the rebound, got knocked out there, fell.
Thanks to your point guard.
And I got right up and go shoot some free throws.
I mean, what went into just stepping right back up and then kind of strutting to the free throw line?
I believe the answer should just be, I wasn't that hurt, sir.
Just understand it's playoff basketball, right? It's a physical game, playing against a physical team. Going to happen. It's not the last time I'm probably going to get hit like that or fouled in this series. So, I wasn't hurt. You get hit like that, just get up. And I knew he was in the bonus, so go down there and knock the free throws down.
Yeah, so the answer to you, sir, was not some mythology. The answer is I was fine because he was fine. And also, it wasn't the Heat's fault, and there was no code red. Drew Holiday shoved Caleb Martin into him. Tell that to the Ginger Mamba. Whatever the hell he calls himself. I don't know what variation of snake he is. Freckled Mamba, ugly Mamba, dumbass Mamba, whatever the hell he wants to throw on his whole little mantra there that he also stole from Kobe. A lot of stealing from Kobe going on from the Celtics. You would think that they would be a little bit more prideful for an organization that claims to be rivals with the Lakers. Either way, it is a funny thing, though. Like, we see this not only with the Celtics here, who are, like, boo-hooing and crying all over the place. And it's, by the way, hilarious when you have this, when their $300 million man puts Duncan Robinson in a full Nelson and throws him into the stands. They want to talk about cheap shots. But it is funny, like, you see this, and you see, like, the idiot Knicks Twitter. And I do hesitate on some levels because, like, with those Knicks, I don't know if that's like a 14-year-old making a montage who calls himself Big Nick Energy on social media. But this is an actual person who is supposed to broadcast for the team, and it has the audacity to say that Eric Spoelstra, who has been through so many battles, right, has taken losses on the chin, has never done anything cheap or dirty or any of that stuff. Not like they're, it's just crazy to me that you think Eric Spoelstra, who was using a timeout in a challenge, was calling a timeout to put the hit out on Jayson Tatum because he doesn't think that he can win on the level. That's just like, it's such a rotten, low rent, loser mentality from these Celtics, who are just like, oh, we got to come up with something because it was a blowout. So, I know the Heat are out to get Jayson Tatum. Hey, dude, he got his ankle hurt a year ago. Your $300 million man couldn't do anything about it because he's only got one arm out there. You guys got to move on from that stuff. As we'll move on to game 2, because I know that's what the Heat probably want to do on this and whatnot, but God, just the stupidity that just rolls around from these media members, these carnival barkers, from Wilbon the other night talking about the fans to now old Scalabrine here coming out here saying that the Heat have hits out on Jayson Tatum. It's just friggin' ridiculous to me, man. Unbelievable. Unfriggin' believable.